Hello and welcome to Box News this week. My name is Khalil Gueye in Dakar, Senegal. Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has confirmed that he will seek his party's presidential ticket in February 2019. His announcement ends a month of speculations about his future after bouts of ill health. Paul Cisco has details.
The inauguration of Muhammadu Buhari as the 15th president of Nigeria took place on May 29, 2015. It marked a new beginning for Buhari as head of state. It was an historic event and a great day for Nigerians. For the first time, a Nigerian incumbent went peacefully down to defeat in Africa's biggest democracy.
Our country has now joined community of nations that have used the ballot box to peacefully change an incumbent president in a free, fair election.
Then the former military and opposition leader was swept to victory over President Goodluck Jonathan.
I promised the country free and fair elections. I've kept my word. I've also expanded the space for Nigerians to participate in the democratic process.
On April 9th, following a meeting with executive members of the ruling All Progressive Congress, President Buhari announced on his Twitter account that he's seeking a spot on the APC's presidential ticket and a second victory and term in the nation's February 16, 2019 presidential poll. It remains unclear whether others in the party will challenge the incumbent. President Buhari spent part of 2017 in London receiving treatment for an undisclosed illness. After more than 100 days in the hospital, throngs of cheering Nigerians welcomed his return to Abuja last August. He met with British Prime Minister Theresa May at 10 Downing Street this week, at least in part for the meeting of the Commonwealth heads of government ongoing in Britain through Friday. Buhari became president under a faltering economy and facing severe security threats and challenges from the Boko Haram terrorist group. April 14th marked the 4th anniversary of the group's notorious kidnapping of nearly 300 schoolgirls in Chibok. The Boko Haram insurrection has been underway for nearly 9 years. It's estimated that the war has claimed tens of thousands of lives and displaced over 2 million people. Last year, the United States approved the sale of 12 military planes and security equipment worth $600 million to Nigeria to help fight terrorism. Meanwhile, Buhari's critics and those in opposition question the 75-year-old's fitness for office. They say the economy is still in disarray and he has not fulfilled his campaign promises to tackle corruption and insecurity in the country's northeast. On April 30th, President Buhari meets with U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House. They'll discuss their partnership in the war on terror, trade, promoting economic growth and reforms, and building on Nigeria's role as a democratic leader in West Africa. Paul Cisco, VOA News, Washington.
In Nigeria's capital, demonstrations by the movement representing the country's Shiite minority have turned violent this month. And as Chika Odua reports for VOA from Abuja, the tensions show no signs of easing.
The Islamic movement of Nigeria has demonstrated daily in Abuja since mid-January. They say they will not stop until their leader, Ibrahim Zakzaki, is released. The State Security Service has defied a court order to free him.
Today is more than about 1 year, 7 months after the court judgment, but the government is still keeping mute. They refuse him medication, and they refuse to free him, and they even refuse to tell Nigerians why they are keeping him in their custody. So that is why we are protesting.
Police have recently sought to stop the protest, leading to violence and arrest. Demonstrators shared cell phone footage with VOA. 18-year-old IMN member Nusubat Umar says police grabbed her during a protest April 23rd. Her brother was injured in a protest the week before.
Maybe the hand have break. We don't know. But now we are ready to carry her to the hospital for X-ray.
Shiites are a minority within Nigeria's Muslim community. Many live in the outskirts of the Nigerian capital, clustered in neighborhoods where there is poor infrastructure. The IMN says the government has repressed Shiites for decades and blocked their religious gatherings. A December 2015 encounter with the military killed more than 300 IMN members. Rights groups have called on Nigeria to release Zakzaki.
Amnesty International has received evidence in the latest crackdown against IMN protesters, where we actually saw that police used live bullets, water cannons, and even tear gas on peaceful protesters.
Police have not responded to the accusations. The daily demonstrations have revived suspicion of the group.
I have met them before, and it was not friendly because they block the road when they are on their procedure. They block the road for hours.
They have no direction. They have not been able to convince the entire nation, their main focus, their ambition, where they are coming from and where they are going to.
The IMN says it will not give up.
We are practicing religion. The Sheikh is our religious leader. He is our religious leader, and we are ready to die in order for the cause of what we are doing.
Chika Odua in Abuja for VOA News.
Accusers and supporters of popular U.S. comic actor Bill Cosby reacted emotionally Thursday after a jury in Pennsylvania found him guilty of sexual assault. His supporters cheered him on arrival to the court. His victims shed tears of relief and celebrated victory. VOA's Slatika Hoke reports.
Thursday marked the inglorious end of the once charismatic TV dad Bill Cosby, best known for his long-running Bill Cosby Show. The 80-year-old comedian was found guilty on all 3 counts of sexual assault, each carrying a potential 10 years in prison. Cosby's accuser, actress Lily Bernard, praised the jury, but acknowledged the verdict is a blow for many young men who admired Cosby's father image.
But I looked at that jury, there's this one young black man on that jury who I looked upon as my son, and I know the disappointment that he felt in looking at a beloved black male iconic father figure and being able to yet render a guilty verdict.
Gloria Allred, the lawyer representing more than 30 of Cosby's accusers, said Thursday's verdict is a victory for all abused women who have not been able to fight and prove abuse in the past.
It's been a very long journey, but this is an historic result. This was her story. Not his story, not history, but the story of her. The story of Andrea Constant. The story of all of those who took that risk against a rich, powerful, famous man, took the risk of being denigrated publicly, took the risk of being sued for what they said because he had the resources to do it.
Cosby's defense attorney said the actor's encounters with women were consensual.
We are very disappointed by the verdict. We don't think Mr. Cosby's guilty of anything, and the fight is not over. Thank you.
Are you going to appeal, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, very strongly.
A number of other women alleged Cosby gave them drugs and assaulted or molested them in their youth, but their cases were too old to go to court. His first trial in June 2017, also brought by Constant, ended in a mistrial. Cosby will await his sentence in freedom. Zlatica Hoke, VOA News, Washington.
From T-shirts, socks, and toys to knives and lanterns, a store in upstate New York takes pride in only selling goods that are made in America. Olga Lozhinova from VOA's Russian service talked to the store owner about his business, which emerged after the 2008 financial crisis.
Mark Andel is the proud owner of Made in America, a store that sells only US-made products. It's not his first business. His welding company nearly closed in the midst of the 2008 financial crisis. He lost major contracts to foreign manufacturers and laid off a lot of his staff.
I went from 70 employees down to 30, actually. Laid off almost 40 of my employees, family members, people that helped me get to where I am. Toughest times of my life. My father said they'll understand. I said, Christmas ain't the same when you lay off your family. And
Despite these hardships, Andal didn't give up. He believed in the American dream and in working hard, no matter what. His work ethic paid off. Soon after the crisis, Andal opened his first Made in America store in the small town of Alma, New York, near the city of Buffalo. He now owns 6 other stores across the country.
sometimes they call me crazy. I call it passion. You know, I got a lot of passion for it. I don't want to brag, but I don't try to brag. It's my story, but I'm excited about it. People don't care about that no more. It doesn't matter where it's made. There's no sense of pride. And I said I want to lead with quality.
When the store opened in 2010, there were very few things on the shelves. Now, 8 years later, Andal works with 500 companies and sells roughly 7,000 American-made products.
The letter of authenticity, we give them a vendor package that they have to fill out, get back to us, stating it's 100% American-made, and then we review it from there.
While surveys show nearly 75% of Americans want to buy US-made products, their first preference is to buy the cheaper item. But these surveys also show consumers consider quality. And this attracts shoppers to the Made in America store. But many simply want to see the man who turned his dream into reality.
Clothing, a lot of people don't realize clothing is very hard to find made in the USA. The textile industry was all given away or really took a hit. We make even the cart that the products...
And beyond selling US-made products, Andal creates jobs and teaches young people to work in his welding shop. He firmly believes in not only buying American, but hiring American.
I don't believe we can grow the economy with our skilled trade shortage. It's just such a shortage. I had all the work finally come back last year, but I can't find the people. It's frustrating. I can't find the workers. So you got to train them.
Skeptics might call Mark Andal an idealist trying to fight globalization, but his hard work and determination to make his Made in America store succeed is an example that any dream can come true.
Well, that's all for this edition of Box News this week. My name is Khalil Gueye in Dakar, Senegal. Have a wonderful weekend.